There we go. Hi, welcome. Wrong button. Sorry. Welcome. It's Monday again. Glad to see you're here. It's time for more Star Wars Ashes, Season 2, Episode 3. Still not doing the salt titles. That was a Season 1 thing, as much as it's sometimes really tempting. I know, the compulsion, but we're not going to do that. Sorry for the miss of last week. Blame Kato over there. Just a little bit over to my side. It's all his fault.
It
Um,
really is.
yeah. Anyways, send him hate tweets and stuff, even though he doesn't have a Twitter because he doesn't care about the internet. Whatever.
You just
I
send
do
hate
have a
mail right to his
Twitter.
house.
You'll never find it.
Oh, is it I am Darth Morik?
Yes.
Surprisingly, no.
Oh,
Killing it.
I thought that was it. Anyways, to recap from 2 weeks ago, our last episode, the crew arrived at Hangman's Canyon on Stuga. We got a nice opening panoramic view of the Mount Everest-sized geyser, the silver sand desert, and then the canyon grooves that rivers have formed in the desert landscape, which the Hangman's Canyon has kind of settled in, is in one of the canyons along the walls mostly, and they sometimes draw bridges and connections between everything. The crew settled in. They delivered the fuel they had gotten in the first mission that caused all the conflicts, but blessed them with the presence of Jomer. Blessed. Everyone got that business settled. Kato went and got talked to not Gleam, the other lady Zadal, and got payment and got a rundown of some recent things, mostly re-emphasizing the little internal political strife going on in the canyon between mostly herself and the members of the bounty hunter guild, led by a guy with the alias Phantom. And it's but again, ongoing thing pretty much since the canyon settlement was formed, but it's just always a nagging presence between the two of them. Tarka asks some questions about it, or asked of Lady Zadal, ends up determining that she's weak. Go figure.
Whatever.
Yeah. Jomer ends up going around playing his. Was it actually a guitar or was it a different instrument?
Yeah, I mean it can't be a guitar, right? It's just shy of a space guitar.
Why can't it be a guitar? It could totally be a guitar.
Well, it's a stringed instrument of some extra twangy variety.
A banjo.
Yeah,
Drum and drums.
Star Wars variety.
A Dura guitar. It's okay. It's fine. We know.
A Dura guitar. Shit, I snapped a Dura string on my Dura guitar.
Yeah.
You want to know how I got these scars?
Yeah, exactly. So he ended up getting a little following. It cheered up a lot of kids and people in general of the settlement as he played, and he basically played himself into a triumph, which was basically getting an open performance at the most intact cantina of the settlement, which we will get to in moments. Tarka then went over to the Bounty Hunters Guild. The crew chatted about their next mission. They reunited with Lissy and the ladies and got some kind of got a rundown there. Bix had an altercation with a rowdy, drunk-haired person who was causing the girls trouble. Nard ended up talking with Lizzie and all that, which led into our little comical scene of supposedly Kato wanting Lizzie to strip for business. But it was just Nard's mischief. It was good for some laughs. Then they got a sense of some missions. I think there was a total of 3 or so presents on the table, thereabouts. But the crew's leaning pretty heavily towards. Oh no, it was just 2. Sorry, it was just 2. Because when Tarka left and went and scoped out the Bounty Hunters Guild and asked around and got a sense of things, the bartender approached him as he was just having a drink and offered him another job, a little bit more on the. There'll be payment sort of, but it is kind of like a favor-ish type of thing for bringing in this other bounty hunter that Phantom has an issue with. and help allow Phantom to enact some canyon justice. And Tarka, when in return, brought that to the crew. Because of its sort of proximity, it's not too crazy rude. They're thinking about going and doing it. It's back on Nar Kaga. And that's pretty much where we left off. Did I miss anything? No. Don't think so too much. So, we'll start off with good old Jomer. Because of all those issues we had the other week, and we kind of didn't get to see the whole scene. So you arrived in...
I did not.
Right. Oh, you gave me the info for it too. What was the place called again? The Deep Well Oasis. We come to the Deep Well Oasis. It is as with the rest of the stuff in the Canyon Settlement, it's not exactly sparkling peachy keen. It's reasonably well constructed. It's probably on one of the somewhat broader platforms that line the walls. So it has at least that as a foundation. But its walls and the environment is still a little rugged, a little patchy, especially on the outside. Mostly what sells it is probably the signage and maybe some sort of like big, like someone maybe salvaged something that was like, it's like half of one of those like giant statues of like a person or something, like, you know, like the Simpsons with the like donut boy guy and like holding up the donut, but it's like only like his like upper half, his upper body, and the donut's like half missing. It'd be like that equivalent, but for here it's like, it used to be something maybe you found on Nar Shaddaa, and it's just like half of a person's body that like looks like maybe they're raising up a beer or something, but you don't have the arm past the joint. But that's the only thing that really notes what this location is. And you get on the inside and it's got a decent like layout of trying to look kind of older, wooden, westerny type of thing, and some stuff hanging around on the ceiling. But it's just like a weird hodgepodge of like a hoarding collection person. But
What?
Go ahead.
With Oasis and where we've been on what is it? I want to say Rhodesia, but Rhodia. I imagine this is like maybe he bought like part of a collection of like Rhodian like tiki bar stuff, like from like like a Rhodian tiki bar on Nar Shaddaa. So it's like not an authentic Rhodian tiki bar. It's like a knockoff, and now he only has like half of it, so it's like a knockoff of that.
Well, man, this is going to sound really awful, but I just can't not say it because it is culturally very true. But it's basically when something name brand is remade in China. You know? Like iPads and Starbucks and all the stuff that they'll redo, but it's like it's pretty much it's kind of similar, but it's clearly a knockoff and whatnot. But they, you know, because they don't, anyways, it's kind of
I think the Rhodians look like a little too much like Duros. Like they use the same model for either of them. They just, you know, like painted a couple of like speckle marks on the forehead to indicate like the bumps.
There's probably like a woman that like initially seems like she's a Twi'lek, but you can tell it's just like a headpiece thing that gives the Leku stuff that covers up her hair, and she just has like her eyebrows and stuff shaved and makeup over to like match all the colors. So it's just like she's just totally not really a Twi'lek. She's just like a human woman that they pulled some tricks on.
so yeah, you know, I think, you know, I've probably, you know, this is probably like the end of my set, right?
Okay.
You know, and you know, I'll have a show drink, but I don't get drunk when I play. I get drunk afterwards. Like that's, you know, that's the time. But I'm a consummate professional when I'm on the stage. But I do like to encourage my crowd to get drunk. So it endears me to the bartender in the establishment, right? So, and I think this is a tearjerker he's ending on because he knows that people will really be like generous and tip the bar and maybe tip his hat, and so yeah, he's like coming up to the chorus, so it's like, we shed a tear for dear Alderaan, we buy a beer for those who all remain, those survivors who are doomed to wander, left to roam so far from home. We miss her clearly, dear Alderaan. We will all remember your white mountains, blue skies, and green. The valleys will remember your peace and tradition. And when we gaze out, the starport will be wistful. And then he starts to repeat the chorus again, and he's like, pass the hat around for any survivors. And of course there's no real survivors, but people are putting money in anyway. So, it'll go to either survivors if they're there, or, whoever ends up with the hat at the end.
I mean, they could have survived on those shards of rock that flew out into space, right? Right? Of course, sure.
Well, no, I mean, I think he's thinking about like the people who were like stranded off, but the chances of there being any Alderaanians here on Stoga at this bar, probably not great.
No, technically, no, not too many. I mean, maybe some that have a part of their like heritage or background, but maybe like those that like they moved away from Alderaan generations ago or whatever, so they're just like descendants of Alderaan. Like, there's always a possibility for that, but direct ones, pretty.
Yeah, probably not.
Pretty low.
Those guys are all vaporized.
Yeah, so I think he knows that, and I think it's like, it's like one of his go-to, like ending set songs, or a way to turn the crowd and be like, oh yeah,
Well, let's see how good it was, especially for giving the bar a chance to make some money off of this. Give me, like if you want to do it like essentially like a performance check, it'd be like coordination, or if you want to do it more like a charm or something like that to how you endear yourself to the crowd. Can't hear you.
How do you feel about a charm check,
Sure.
but made with agility?
Okay.
Oh, well, I guess he's more singing in this case. This is a crooner, not a strummer. So maybe just a straight charm check then.
Okay. Do it 2 purple or 1 purple and a red. I mean, I got so much dark side, I might as well just throw it at you guys. Wow, speaking of weird results.
There you go.
So, no success, but the side effect of a triumph.
I think the problem is I've been too successful at getting these people drunk, and so that they're not really going to remember the show, and that's to my detriment for future. Like the actual charming didn't happen. They're too wasted. Like they don't care what I'm doing. They're just kind of. But I think maybe for the triumph, maybe. Maybe someone at that actually works at the bar, like maybe knows an Alderaanian or something, and is like, "Oh man, that was the song,"
Yeah, maybe like the bartender lady that you improvised for me. What was her name? Urga Moen. She might be a descendant in some order of Alderaanian. So you had her in like tears, and she's like really excited to like bring you back and try and do more of a show. But yeah, the sales maybe were a little tricky because like maybe it's like you did kind of a pretty good job, but maybe in a weird twist, it's like they ordered the stronger liquor off the bat and they got wasted too quickly, and the sales kind of like it was like a burst.
Oh,
Like
tape it off. Yeah.
yeah, it was like a quick like up down graph type thing.
Yeah, it was like lively, and then everybody got too drunk and wanted to go home and sleep.
Yeah, that was kind of it was a weird like adverse effect of like, ooh, I'll have to refine that next time. That was a thing. But yeah, the bartender was in tears. You know, maybe like comes up to you afterwards and cries on your shoulder for a moment in memory of Alderaan. And my lord, I just haven't seen something full of such emotion and everything. It brings back such memories. Oh my god, thank you so much for writing this song.
Well, we always got to keep the survivors all around in mind. It can't be something that just fades into inexistence. So I'm just doing my part, ma'am, to tell the tale, keep the memory alive.
I mean, how many times have you been to such a great planet as that? You must really be familiar with it.
It is such a beautiful planet. Everybody who has been there, who talks it, I swear it's the same story. Nothing but blue skies, mountains, and rolling hills of green.
It's like when entertainers show up and be like, "You're the best city in America."
Yeah. Oh, he's got one for like every place he used to play, right? You have to have like that. You got to do the staples, a few covers. You try to throw a few of your own in that the crowd's like, yeah, fuck all that garbage. And then you got that like one song that's like your city, your thing, best. This is the best ever. This is my song, for whatever.
And it's really.
I think he was working for one on Rhodia, but I don't think it materialized.
It's really easy when you can. Really easy when you can. I simply slipped the comment I was going to make with how to manipulate the crowds. I was going to say it's really easy to throw in that comment near the end of the performance when people are drunk. Like when people are already kind of sloshed and whatnot, and you go, "Yeah, you guys are the best crowd I've ever had," and then it's easy for people to be like, "Yeah." As they're tipsing and teetering on their chairs and like almost about to fall out in their drunk ass. There was probably like at some point, maybe near after your performance is over, a couple guys as the drunkards like maybe get a little rowdy and are about to like get into some fisticuffs while the girl's like crying on her shoulder.
No. Be gentlemen, this lady is having an episode of some traumatic memories that she would like to honor and not have them spoiled by your, 2-bit ruffian ways.
Yeah, they don't really hear you too well because they're like so enamored and they're like shouting and.
I said 2-bit ruffian.
2-bit ruffian.
Homie's just trying to start a bar fight over here.
Right. I say, calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
And eventually,
I did say.
Someone stumbles.
Plus 1 XP to the GM for Foghorn Leghorn.
Eventually, they stumble out into or one of the other people that are involved in the fight, like stumble out of the bar and give like a holler to like one of the bounty hunter guys, like one of the like merc security type people that kind of help keep the peace in the settlement, and they come up and maybe the guys are still like yelling, they're puffing up their chest and pressing against each other type of thing, like, "Oh yeah, well you throw the first fist," all that like boistering and all that, and the mercenary just comes in and like knocks their heads together and then like drags them both out of the bar and then restores some order.
Oh, well, I thought I might have to intervene more strongly than a vocal denunciation, but I'll see you have a capable gentleman right there to create a peaceful and hospitable atmosphere in this here inhospitable world. It certainly is an oasis, ma'am.
As there's like a little splotch of blood from like when he hits one of the guys off the like door frame on his way out and like breaks some skin and stuff, and then finally gets them out the door.
And I think he says that as he's like, an oasis.
Right.
It's like dribbling down the wall.
Yeah. Just down like metal frame or whatever.
He's like, oasis.
It's just like a quick cut to like Bix as he just kind of perks up and goes, "Oh, my injury sense is tingling."
It's very hard not to say, please state the nature of your medical emergency.
I mean, you could anyways. I mean,
Realizes he's talking to himself and gets sad about it.
It's the only intelligent conversation I get.
So yeah, they eventually get the people out of the bar, and then the woman just, kind of sniffles and goes, "Well, that was absolutely delightful. I'm so appreciated that you gave us such a good experience. I mean, we'll have you along again at some point. Just next time, don't recommend the number 3 because that gets them a little like doused out before we even get a chance to really, pilfer their wallets,
Yes, I will assist you in the pilfering of future wallets next time with less, I guess, drunken herbition, because there's not enough in that bition with the booze, at least. But yes, got to remember these are some hard-working, hard-scrapping folks. They might be drinking beforehand or working a long shift.
Yeah.
We gotta give them a meal first. That's what we gotta do. Got any victuals?
Well, that's what I was
Fatten 'em
going to
up.
say. That's just what I was about to say. I mean, you didn't even recommend any of our fine food around here. I mean, we could have gotten some of that out on the tables and made an extra little bit of a killing. But you jumped right to the booze there, sugar.
You're right. Show can always improve. I'll have some thinking and thoughts to be happening about this next presentation. So I must say good night, ma'am, but thank you for your having me here in your abode, and let me croon and corral with your customers.
Well, certainly. Do you want a drink on the house now?
Yes.
What do you have?
And I think he's like, it looks like you got that Carillion Reserve over there. I'll have some fond memories. I don't want to. That is expensive, so that can't be my free one. No, I cannot ask that of you. But fond memories of Carillion. Jewel. Oh, what is that, ma'am?
Fond memories after drinking some of that? You remember anything out of drinking stuff like that? I mean, that stuff will just wipe you clean. You won't know the last week after you've had even a shot of that stuff.
Jewel of the Republic, they say. It is like a small town Coruscant. It is. But I digress, ma'am. No, I shall pick something more economical and less burdensome to your free givens of such beverage. I will take that. And he points to something just slightly cheaper.
Yeah, she pauses, thinks about it for a moment, but it complies, goes over and pours like a shot glass for it and whatnot. It's probably like some sort of like not drinking. It's a
Space Jaeger.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Dura Jaeger.
Yeah.
And I think he's like, I thought that was going to be whiskey.
Jaeger's already Dura.
But we gotta work you up to the whiskey. We'll make it, you gotta level up for that stuff. But she pours that, leaves it on the counter, and then tends to cleaning up and fixing some of the tables or whatever from all the like little rowdiness from the show and everything, and attending to other people that are doing the whole like snapping their fingers, trying to get the attention of the woman.
Yeah. Did he get paid at all by this show?
Were you supposed to get paid by the show? Yeah, you could probably get like a little bit. Like, what do we think the scale would be here? Ooh, man, that charm though didn't really succeed. That's gonna hamper.
Yeah.
I think.
So it should be minimal.
Maybe like a couple D100s and see what change you get for it.
I'll roll like one D100. I don't think you made anything more than 100
Okay.
credits.
Let's see it. You gotta do the /R before it. There you go. Not bad.
Yeah, so I think he's going to buy a bottle of not the reserve, but a whole bottle of the Corellian whiskey. So I think that's 50. So I imagine with markup, that's probably all his $82.
Pretty much. And sure enough, she'll put the bottle on the counter. Give me a 3 purple resilience for the shot the glass that you did get served for free. I just want to see if you get loaded. There we go. We get some drunk RP. You're wasted.
Was that before I bought the bottle?
Maybe it's because you bought the or like
Yeah, I think
why
it
you
was.
bought the
That's
bottle.
why you bought the bottle?
I'll stand by me, oh, dear. Oh,
Yeah, you're there a little bit longer than you probably, intended for. And that's probably like where it like cuts back to the crew where they were like kind of not thinking of taking off because they ended up staying for Tarka's request, but there's probably still that moment that as the sun kind of goes down and we're drawing into the night, that there's the ramp's still down, doors still open to the Remembrance, but that guy hasn't returned yet. Where the fuck did he go?
like he's like slowly meandering down, like pausing at every like rock outcropping, being like, Rhodia, home again. No, that doesn't rhyme. Rhodia, oh, shit. Hey, yeah, I'm coming. I had a long constant apologies, sirs and ma'ams, or all sirs and droids.
Why are there 10 of you? Huh?
All of you, that crowd there.
It's just Kato just looking at you, just like he heard you singing from a while away and like came out of his office or something to the commotion and just sees you like drunkily sauntering down the ramp or whatever towards the Remembrance's like landing section.
Are you all right there, Joma?
Oh, yeah. It was, well, could have gone better, but it was a lot of fun, and there's another gig in it. So it's an investment in future earnings or something. How are you doing? Fine. Kato? Yes, Kato. That's you. How are you doing?
So how much did you spend on drinks, if I may ask?
Well, it's an investment, you see, and I want a good, hospitable relationship with the purveyors of that establishment. I put an investment in, investment.
I see. Do you need help walking?
Oh, no. No. I can meander and manage my way up your ramp. It is not such a difficult problem. Yep. Just grab this rail here, though, it's a little steep.
His legs are
I'm
basically
just standing back.
Yeah, his legs are basically spaghetti legs at this point. They're just like wobbling around and
I'm gonna stand back and let him walk.
okay.
Just watch. Behold.
So yeah, I think he's gonna find a couch or something to sit in.
Yeah.
Yeah. But not manage it. Yes.
Yeah, you basically slink into the couch and probably
Hey guys.
yeah. And sure enough, probably pass out shortly thereafter. Is there anything else anybody else wants to do for the last bit of night here before we just move on to the next day?
Just
I'm
make
going to
some
draw
snide
some.
comment at his expense. That's all.
Okay.
Dr. Bix is going to draw something on his face. Not really that bad, just to see if he notices it.
Okay. What do you draw on his face? Or should I even ask?
Probably something like idiot backwards on his forehead.
Is it in common or binary?
Mm.
How you really had to think about that. You're like, damn, that would be.
That's a hard pick. I'm gonna Trade Federation, which is a different language,
Okay. Great.
just to see if he can recognize it.
Yep.
The Trade Federation has its own language. It's not just Moidian.
Well, I mean, it was in fact a federation.
Yeah.
They have their own numeral system and everything.
Ha! That's amazing.
Not that they had their own language necessarily, but they had like a
Yeah, they got like they rebuilt everything up.
yeah, numerative system, an alphabetical system. Yeah.
That is interesting. That is very interesting.
Yeah, shit ruled.
Wow.
CIS forever. Long live the Confederacy of the Independent Systems. Down with the Republic.
Season 3, we go back to the Clone Wars, and this time we'll play it and make the right side win.
That's right.
I would
right.
play a Clone Wars campaign. I would.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
I'm
we all?
sure. Maybe it's a one-shot or something. We can always dabble with the idea. It's a fun concept.
But we are losing track here.
Of course, as usual. Whenever we are staying on track. So you write on his forehead, idiot in Trade Federation. Trade-inese, whatever we want to call that.
Lower basic.
Ooh.
Damn. Is that legal?
I will admit it.
George Lucas doesn't know how to write racially sensitive material.
Yeah.
Hey.
Morning dawns. The canyon starts heating up. Since there's still a number of hours before Tarka's meeting is hopefully set the place, since it was the late afternoonish type time that he was told that Phantom would appear as per kind of a usual schedule. So people want to do for the next 8 hours or so, you guys got time to fill.
Wait, I thought I was due to meet him first thing in the morning.
Was it first thing in the morning? I thought it was more later on in the day.
No, I was told I would meet him like AM before anything happened in the day.
Oh.
Because we were scheduled to leave, and then I was like, "Nah, dude, it's fine. My meeting will be like first thing in the morning. It'll be early. We won't have to worry about it. I'll get out of the way, and then we can go do whatever."
That's fine. I don't remember.
Pretty sure, right? Anyone else check me on that? Okay.
I'm ready with beans before you go if you want some.
Beans. Yeah, sure. I'll eat some beans. Why not?
Hey, that dead fellow in the center of the ship. Hey, you have birds on all over your face. Want some beans, Jomer?
Huh?
I'll wake you up. I'm
Dude,
godly.
Frank. And I think he jumps up out of the couch because he's probably been there the whole time, like pistols drawn, and he's yes, beans would be nice. Slowly puts the guns away and dusts himself off.
On a scale of 1 to still drunk, how hungover are you?
Oh, it's he's probably still a quarter.
Okay, fair enough.
So Nard's voice is like a fair bit louder than normal. Kind of has
Everything hurts.
yeah, a little bit of resonance going on in the eardrums when he speaks. It's not just, hey, do you want some beans? It's, hey, you want some beans? Beans.
Thunk, 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 thunk. Oh.
Also, maybe it's better than lying there on the floor by the sofa. We have beds for you, right?
Wait. Oh shit. Shiz. That was the floor. Well, I was just trying to straighten out my spinal column. I hear that's good for the lumbar.
Okay,
He's
you
like crack.
God damn it. This guy's killing it.
How that works.
you look ready to head out, Tarka. What's happening?
Yeah, I like finish wolfing my breakfast, and stand gathering my pack and my cloak, which is still tied to the top of it, kind of rolled up. I have a meeting.
Want support? Good luck with that.
No. Your offer is appreciated, but this is something that would be best handled by myself personally.
Oh, you have my comlink number if you need me.
I nod.
You come for second breakfast though, or are you back for lunch first?
Sort of raising a brow at this. I have eaten my meal thus. What more should I eat?
You know me. I serve at least 7 meals a day.
7, eh? I think he has like ribs that have not been eaten regularly for since at least like 3 or 4 big card game losses ago.
Yeah, I think I side-eye Jomer. I was hoping that one would not come back.
Is that because you wanted me to stay out there, rendezvous with you, big guy?
Feed the beggar if you must. I will return soon.
He's always so jolly.
Again, as I told you, Turka, you have our number if you need us.
Yes,
I guess the captain will be up eventually.
I will report to Grakowsk when he awakes.
Good.
Yeah, on the remembrance with 7 meals a day, no one loses weight on the remembrance. No one. You just gradually pack it on.
Well, people tend to miss some meals on purpose, so that's fine.
Yeah, I'm surely not eating 7 meals a day. That's straight up not happening.
Special hospitality.
The hard part is to get the Dr. Bix to actually gain some weight.
Get the droid. Yeah.
You got to give him like I don't know, some sort of like oil oatmeal and
Gotta get him wine him and dine him. Buy him some jewelry. Make him feel pretty.
Please no, I'm still clearing out my internal circuits from the night of the chili.
Some extra bolts on the outside of your hull would probably suit you fine.
Hey, Nard, this second breakfast biscuits are absolutely fabulous.
No,
Yeah,
this is just first breakfast. Do you want
No.
seconds?
Wait, this is still first breakfast?
Yeah, coffee and sandwiches comes later.
Is that still first breakfast?
No, that would be regular breakfast.
But is regular breakfast different than second breakfast?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Second
I thought
breakfast
I
is
had
hard to
that.
meal up. Mostly eggs.
All right. And I think
And maybe some sweet bread.
I think he sits back and kind of shuts up for a while, like just drinking.
With a full stomach, I guess you would fall asleep again.
Slightly hungover still, and I feel like shit, but it's like good shit now because I got a full belly and some caffeine.
You finally got something to absorb all that alcohol.
This is what we role play.
Well, there was one suggestion of what the meals would be called. I don't know if Nard. What are the 7 meals called?
Well, it's all depending on which time of day on which planet we are on.
So it's astrological meals.
Definitely. Sometimes we get breakfast twice a day, depending on how we stand.
Okay.
Second parsec dinner.
Yep.
Now, is that second breakfast a second breakfast or a second first breakfast?
Yeah, and sometimes we spend a lot of evenings that become long. Then you have to eat dinner and dinner again and second dinner.
So there's dinner. Then there's dinner again as a separate meal.
Yep.
And then second dinner, distinct from the 2 dinners prior. Not
Definitely.
third. Do you have a third dinner in case of emergencies?
We seldom travel to planets that has such a slow rotation rate that would happen. But on some space stations, time stands kind of still. And maybe all you do is eat dinner all day.
It's some sort of infinite, permanent dinner.
Well, the main thing is that we all are full at all times, because you always work better with a full stomach.
Huh. Well, thank you, Nard, for your bit of culinary cosmic wisdom.
Well, sometimes we get into the space and it's cold. It's always good to have some extra padding.
Yeah, I think he pads himself, and there's just like a lot less of him.
Just a small hollow thunk.
Nard is the only person to perfect the concept of Dura dinner.
Now, a Dur dinner might make Dr. Bex gain some weight.
To see the chassis.
I've already installed the internal storage so I can store more weaponry in me. Is that sufficient?
If you think Dur dinner can be used as a weapon, sure.
With your cooking, I think so.
Now that's just mean.
Ha ha ha.
Just walks away.
Robots going around complaining about food. Look at them.
He just passes the corridor like your little workstation with a Roger Roger.
Fucking droid's disrespectful.
Yeah.
Memory wipe his ass.
If we weren't disrespectful, I mean, we'd just be we'd be the background characters.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think
Potentially.
we're all interested in seeing how it goes for Tarka now.
The E3PO.
So, a quick little mention for Kato is you get a message from your good old friend Haral.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's just
What does it say?
it's a text-based message. He expresses the test flights for his new ship have been successful, and things
Oh,
are
yeah.
looking good for his prototype, and they're starting to go into more mass production. And he says that in a lot more words than that. Like I give you the gist, but there's probably like a good couple paragraphs of like explaining what the test they did, how it was successful, how much, maybe on like some sort of target debris or something that they shot up, it was pretty effective. And then it kind of ends with the kind of the wait for it moment, and it's like he goes kind of like, so do you think Gleam or do you think your lady Zadal would be interested in one of these? ? Think you can find out ? And that's just what's left at the message.
Ral. Always something.
He's one of those friends.
If I remember correctly, Zadal was looking, or at least had brought up when Kato was talking about it, fighter craft defense.
Something along those lines, yeah. Something that could be used to defend, a possible option to defend the colony, whether it's land-based defenses that can shoot orbitally, English is failing me, or defenses that are in orbit itself, or it can otherwise be used or deployed in space.
And how were these ships designed again? I thought they were
It was the ship that had
smaller ship.
a smallish kind of ship. It was the ship that had somewhat of a bad name because it misled Nard when Haral asked Nard for advice on how to design the ship, because it was called a strike corvette.
Ah.
And it wasn't. Nard thought that meant that it was supposed to go long range and make surgical strikes and then return. When what was meant, and again, this is where the labeling wasn't the greatest, was that it was meant to be a cheap but potent defense of planets and colonies, like a corvette size, so not necessarily all that big. Somewhere around like the CR-90 and the Raider class corvette for the Imperial, like, and still somewhat in that ballpark of size. But it's very barracks, very stripped down, not a lot of luxuries, not a lot of excess, and it's just kind of as much firepower that can squeeze into it reasonably. That's why like the Star Drive was not very good, because it wasn't meant to be going around to many places, so they saved a lot of money on the Star Drive being kind of like, I think like its primary drive was like class 4 or something like that. Like it doesn't even have like a class 1 drive. And there was another major drawback, and I can't remember, that wasn't necessary because it was meant to be relatively stationary to the planet, not necessarily like an actual like platform, like a gun platform. I mean, a little bit more mobile than that, but it was because it was supposed to meant to fight like other fighters and other corvettes and keep people off of whatever it's protecting.
Okay. So less utility and more combat action. Okay.
Yeah, efficient combat action.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something I could look into. We're headed to Narcaga either way. If I remember, no, we're not headed to Narcaga again.
Well, you
We're
might be.
headed to.
You haven't really fully said. The main mission looks like you guys took was the stealing medical supplies from the Imperials on Tatooine.
Yes. Okay. Tatooine. There's a third planet I thought mentioned as well. Was it the one we're on? Like a one-syllable name?
You're on Stoga.
No, yeah, that was the the weapons or whatever it was that was on the other side of the galaxy.
Right.
So we were like, no, because that's going to take a gazillion hours to get over there. So we're going to bag that and go for the close one.
Yeah, the
Advanced immediate goals.
the old Trade Federation like outpost, wherever that Bix was at. That's
Ord
where
Binner, that's right.
that's what
Yep.
it was, and it was all the way across the galaxy. And then the results of the possible mission for smuggling stuff out of smuggling another generator out of Corellia to here. And you guys said no to that generally as well.
Yeah, we had a plan that maybe make our own.
But yeah, that's his message. He's just, getting a feeler out. He seems really excited and, is at least phrasing things with a lot of promise for the ship. I mean, he's had a pretty quick turnover. I mean, he built a prototype in a handful of months for the most part, because at the end of season 1, he had a blueprint. Now he has a prototype in the time between seasons. So he turned that over pretty quick to make a Corvette-sized ship.
There it is. It's a bit out of the way.
But think about that if you want.
Did he send schematics with it? He sent like schematics.
Back in
and
season
everything,
1,
right?
he did, yeah. He didn't, not the current message, but he did back in season 1, yeah.
Okay, so whatever alterations he made, I do not have.
No, you don't know what the final take on it was.
Okay. I'm gonna send back a message asking for a look at those.
Okay. Sure. So we'll leave that be for now. Now we can jump over to Tarka, over at the Bounty Hunter Guild, or the Hunters Guild. Decent gathering of people have formed into the business. It's actually pretty packed compared to the last time you were here, which was like busy, but it was still like enough people for all the tables and seats that there were. Now it's like not quite as much. There's a lot more people in between tables. There's that kind of like shouldering through to kind of get towards like front bar area, or that bar island in the middle of the building. And you wait there for not too long. I think it's because it's still relatively early in the morning. So like, and I imagine you're pretty prompt. You're not someone that I imagine shows up late to anything. You're probably more of an early person.
Yes.
So it's a bit of a wait, not too long, probably less than an hour, but it's still kind of in that ballpark of double-digit minutes. And eventually, at first you almost think it's like blaster fire that goes off outside, and you like look around, and it's just like some crude fireworks that have gone off on this like little like, not even like balcony, kind of doesn't fully do it justice, but like a little jut out on that side of the bar that has like no wall that we talked about, that kind of looks out over to that river. And there's like a little bit of extra space there where some people set up things that like shoot up into the sky and make some noise, that like the crude fireworks. And
is there any discernible reason for this that I can tell, or is it just kind of something that like some assholes are doing?
It seems like it's set up intentionally, so there's something deliberate about it. Like it's like canisters that were casing around it.
Right. So I'm assuming this is some kind of signaling.
Well, as they go off, people start kind of cheering and chanting and whatnot. And then from the river below, 3 figures in power armor, like the rocket propulsion type thing, come up and then land onto the platform. And it's like 2 of them that are in like essentially like forest camo looking colors for like power armor. And then the center one is pure black. The two on the side have like no helmet. They're just probably like just like a couple humans or whatever. But the center one, he has like this big sort of like Grim Reaper-ish type of feel to his helmet. Like it looks like it's almost got a cloak, like the helmet shape, like it's got like a cloak and kind of like would conceal part of the face, and it's just like a big giant like black visor. Like the whole face is just that one big visor.
Right.
And yeah, steps forward, arms raised, everyone starts cheering, and now that's as the kind of the voice kind of shouts out, and it's like, "I'm here, everybody! I'm here! I know you're all excited," and everyone's like, "Yeah, woo!" Getting some more drinks as he steps forward and flanked by his guards, and they mingle with the crowd for a bit, and the spectacle of it kind of. He's talking and gallivanting about like some exploits he just was on, like how some target eluded him for a good while, but eventually they were no match for being baited into a trap. And everyone has a good kind of laugh over it. All this like extra showmanship and whatnot. And it takes probably a good like, unless you do something to put yourself in kind of in front, he probably spends like a good like 15-30 minutes mingling with the crowd and kind of socializing.
Yeah, no, I wait. I let him do his thing. I kind of want to size this guy and his crew members up. I think upon my initial reaction to this kind of showboating, showmanship sort of personality, I'm almost inclined to like him a little less than the woman, whatever her name is. A good workman craft speaks for itself. A proper hunter needs no boasting. This guy's kind of starting to piss me off. But I guess I am going to wait and see how long it takes for him to honor the agreement that we supposedly made, or at least I made with his underling, that I was to be his initial meeting for the day.
Right.
And I'll just sort of sit here and, I'm not going to drink because, again, it's first thing in the fucking morning. I don't know why there's so many people here drinking right now, these goddamn idiots. But, here we are. We'll wait.
He goes around glad hand people, the whole usual, like, "Oh, hey, how's it going? How was your last hunt? Oh, that's great. Oh, you'll get him next time, depending on what he's here." It's like very like 5-second conversation with like a bunch of people as he kind of works.
Yeah, he's working the room. Sure.
And then sure enough, he starts heading into like a back side room type thing, and then you see one of the side guys that he's the bodyguards like look over to you. He seems to like already have a sense of you, and he brings one of the big fully armored hands up and gestures you over.
What are these guys armed with?
Disruptor rifles amongst their giant like large power
disruptors
armor. Like they're with the power armors, they're probably close to 7 feet for most of them, and then they got some illegal wares or restricted wares on them.
Disruptors. All right, cool. Immediately very wary of that, I proceed.
Yeah, they bring you into not bad, surprisingly not badly furnished room. It's got like kind of that ostentatious. That's not the right word.
Ostentatious.
Yeah, it's a little bit much. He's got a good collection and like a set of trophies in like glass cases on either wall of either a body part or something else precious to previous hunts. And his chair itself is also large and mostly metal because he actually sits down in the chair in his like power armor.
Yeah.
And the other two just kind of stand by the sides of one stands by his desk and the other one stands by the but you can seem to tell is the only door like entrance to it as you walk in. And he's he has the visors like looking at you the whole time, and he goes, "So my so my aide says you're interested in taking the job for us."
I was approached with this work and did not refuse.
That's good to hear. I'm very glad you guys would be willing to help out the proper ventures of the settlement.
What does this guy smell like?
Huh, that's an interesting question. Trying to think what would be what sense would be it. How good is your sense of smell, I guess?
Pretty good. I'm a Trandoshan. I mean, I'll roll a perception check or an awareness or whatever the fuck the relevant skill is. Yeah, perception, I guess it is. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
DMing like 4 different games at the current, so I'm trying to remember what the hell that. Perception, I believe.
Yeah, perception.
All right.
Trying to think of how difficult. I mean, it'd be very difficult if you want to try and get a sense of the smell of the person on the inside of the armor. It'd be fairly easy if it's just the smell on around him, on the armor. Kind of depends on what you're going for.
I mean, kind of both, but more specifically, what the flesh thing inside of the armor smells like.
All right, sure. 3 purple.
I'm trying to think if I have anything that matters here. Let's see. Hunter, no. Stalker, no. Nope. Nope. Okay, so my skills at. There. Okay. Roll them. Ugh. Wait, I'm missing a green in there.
It was supposed to be a green and 2 yellow.
Yeah, I have 2 ranks in it and 3 cunning.
Roll the green.
Yeah, I put that in, right?
Just go at the top and just put 1 into the green dice and just roll it independently.
Oh, fuck. Yep. All right, hang on. Well, I can't. I got rid of the. What the hell? Do I have to? Oh, I have to click out of it probably. Yeah. Yep, that's what I did wrong. All right.
So we'll add that to the first roll, so it'd just be a
So,
bunch of advantage.
Fail real hard, but 3 advantage.
Yeah. You're not really able to get much discern of scent on the flesh bag that's on the inside. You just get the whiff of used fuel and stuff from the rockets that he used to obviously make his big grand entrance. And probably like some lingering scent of the bar and whatnot around it, as these grubby, drunky people were all shaking hands and hugging them and whatnot. So you're not really concerned, but the advantage is, I guess it's not really related to the scent though, but I was gonna say like you don't get any real sense of like deception or anything from like he actually seems genuinely enthusiastic for you being here and taking the job. Like there's that lingering sense of like someone to do this type of feel from him.
Okay. Sure. So I guess I'll just kind of like look him up and down and I'm simply here to try to gauge what semblance of leadership this place may have. You are a warring faction for control of this settlement. And it seems to me as though your opposition is weak. I am curious to see if you share the same blood. Narrow my eyes a little bit. A thinly veiled threat.
Opposition? What do you mean by... Oh... I don't know if I think of her as opposition so much as just a minor obstacle. She'll learn her place in due time. She's just a little bit stubborn.
He would see you removed. You do not call that opposition.
Someone with no means to do anything isn't really opposition. She is a lot of talk. And she's sometimes good at business and persuasion, but she has a place. But she'll never be able to rid us. I don't know why she would want to. We could have long since been working together, but she seems to think that the settlement is destined to become a normal civilian place, like a regular world with regular trade and regular politics. I don't know where she gets that from. This planet is ripe for freedom, where everyone can do what they want, where the strong survive, and doesn't have to knows where things come from and who is supplying them with survival.
There is a saying in home. It does not translate well to basic. He who underestimates his prey is a corpse.
Oh. He looks to his bodyguards and you do think she's a threat then? Why do you think that, Mr. Trendroshan?
Like, I don't understand this guy at all. He's just like, oh, like, she's not a threat. You think she's a threat? Why is that? It's like, no, dude, she's clearly like your rival. Like in my Trandoshan sensibilities, it's like there's like hunter and prey, and you clearly have the upper hand, but she wants you out, so like I don't get why you're not getting this, right? So for me, I'm like confused by his line of questioning here, so I just kind of look at him and go, it is obvious to me that your relationship is adversarial. Why would you not want her eliminated?
Because I see potential in her. I don't want to see her gone as much as she wants to see me gone. As I said, I think she does have use. She just needs to understand where this settlement should go, what place she should have in it, and ultimately yield to the judgment of her betters. The adversarial is only coming from her.
What vision for this place do you have?
I have kind of a quaint vision of something not unlike Nar Shaddaa in a way, but without the huts, and without the Black Sun, and without the Syndicate. Just something a little bit more straightforward. But no less free, really.
I don't really respond to this. I'm just kind of mulling it over. I sort of look him up and down as he sits behind his big fancy desk. Why do you not remove your helmet?
See, now that would be underestimating my prey.
You think me a threat?
There's a lot of people that could be threats. I don't know your crew very well, to be fair. As much as I do hope you help me in getting this traitor into my possession, you guys still have been over there, and I've been over here, and we don't really talk much. Your leader, this Huam fella, he's a businessman as well. Makes me a bit weary sometimes.
I offer a sort of like toothy, like not demeaning grin, but I kind of like looked at it and shake my head like, I mean, yeah, sure, you're not wrong, but like, you're also really wrong. Like, Frozen, as far as I can see it.
Oh, it's off to me. Yeah.
Yep.
It's off on my end too.
For me?
No, Nard,
Oh,
you're still fine.
yeah, no, his is gone.
Yeah.
Yours, Zal, is frozen.
Hmm.
Oh, there it goes. Nope. All right, now it's back.
Okay, we're good.
Okay. Yep.
Sorry,
Weird
continue.
hiccup there. Yeah, I guess I'll say I see no reason why he would be threat to you. A businessman, certainly. Unscrupulous as well. But he is not the kind to simply stab someone in the back for nothing.
His head tilts a little bit. A businessman tends to do what's good for business. If enough money was on the table, would your leader, your boss, not take the chance? Regardless, this is not just for you. It's something I do for many. Perhaps in due time, a grand reveal can be upon your presence. But that day is not today, my friend.
That I am here should speak volumes enough, manling. But as you will. Hide behind your armor. In time I will know you. Regardless, this thing you want hunted, I should like more information.
Oh, good. On to more pressing matters. A friend, as it turns out, or used to be. We were supposed to make this settlement something grand. We were getting our ducks in a row, and he decided, I'm not sure fully what got into his head, but he decided that getting this guild up and running and getting operations running smoothly was not really to his liking anymore. Which was really disparaging. We had been friends for a long time. We'd been through a lot of troubles. The Empire, the Rebellion. A lot of thick and thin, you could say. But he said no to here, and he caused some damages. He shed some blood on his way out. I think it's rather fitting that I do the same to him. Because I don't like leaving loose ends, and I don't like having friends turned enemies.
Sound. What's the bounty for this? Was I provided that information or
no? Not really.
Okay, well then I'll proceed to ask. And how much will you pay for this retrieval?
I could fashion some appropriate credits for you if need be, unless you be interested in trade or favor, things we can help you with in the future, scratch my back and I scratch yours and all that.
I think about this for half a second, then shake my head. I have been betrayed far too many times to receive intangible reward.
That's a shame. Very well, if you and your boss require cold hard cash, we'll say, how does 20 grand sound?
It sounds suspiciously high.
And that really makes my palms sweaty, dude. Speaking into my hands.
Yeah, it'll do that. What I usually like to do for people in helmets is I cup kind of my nose and my hand. That way the mic gets into it, but it doesn't cover your face, and it also lets you project a little bit. Because it's kind of hard to understand. Like when you do this, it's tougher to hear what you're saying.
I'll try to maybe refine it a little bit, but we'll go with this for now.
But yeah, 20,000. A mighty sum. This is a dangerous hunt.
He nods.
A statement as much as a question. Yeah, okay. He nods. All right, cool. And do you desire warm blood, or will a corpse suffice?
He shakes his head when you say corpse.
Alive, then. As you will.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad we can make this arrangement. I'll see you in however long it takes, I guess. I don't really know. It'd be interesting to see how quickly you guys do such a job.
We have preceding business. But immediately upon the resolution of such things, then the hunt may begin in earnest.
He nods again.
Have you any more information? A dossier? Images?
You were given a data stick from the aide.
Was I? That had all that on? Okay, yeah, just making sure. All right, cool. Then ignore that. Strike that. Nope, not allowed. Cool, yeah, then I guess I'll just sort of nod and say, yeah, he nods, I nod. Kind of look him up and down once again. What is he armed with? His goons had disruptors. What's this guy got?
I think he's got a pair of disruptor pistols. He's dual wielding.
We're just about the disruptors over here. Okay, sure.
He's got a legal wear.
Cool. All right. Well then I guess like he nods, I nod, look him up and down, and then I sort of unceremoniously just sort of stand to leave.
It was a pleasure to meet you, though, by the way. Have a good day, though.
Again, look him up and down, look his goons up and down. Sort of like a curt grunt growl of agreement, and then turn to leave.
Okay. Yeah, you head out, and that's where we'll take our first break. We'll see you guys in about 10.